So you're telling me that we've been robbed of Sam Millar and the Milky Boys?
Yeah, I think I prefer that actually. Bad move. If I go somewhere and someone puts it on, I'm like, oh god, turn this shit. Like, why is that really attractive man playing Elton John? He was ugly as fuck.
I was eating a veggie pizza the other day, and I was like, this might actually be the most enjoyable pizza.
That's great.
I love a vegetable pizza, and I'm tired of acting like I prefer the meat ones. Now, maybe I'll go vegetarian for January. Maybe that'll be my thing.
I don't care about anyone. As long as they're called Steve, we can play that.
Just a bloke called Steve. Hello, and welcome to episode 54 of the UNCNTRD podcast. I'm Riley, and this is my co-host. Who are you, co-host?
Yes, I'm Tom. I'm hoping that I'm actually in sync today.
And today, we have a guest.
Yes, we are joined by Sam Millar.
How are we today?
How are you doing, Sam?
How you doing?
How you doing?
All good, I'm all good.
So, it's good to hear. So, for all of the people who might not know who you are and what band you're from, would you care to kind of elaborate and just let the audience know about the band?
Yeah, so I'm Sam, and I'm like a solo artist, I guess, but I play with a live band called Sam Millar and the Sass Bandits, which sort of just plays all my solo material, and we tour with that. And I've been in bands for about God knows, a long time now. 15, 20 years maybe.
Yeah. Awesome.
Fair enough. So how did you create the name that is Sam Millar and the Sass Bandits?
Well, it's a bit of a play on words, really. I don't know if it's a term you know, but if you take the S away, it has a bit of a different meaning.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that for a turn. Probably about not even 5 minutes into the video, but there we go.
Well, a lot of people
made you.
It's kind of. Yeah, a lot of people think they're clever by pointing that out, but it was very intentional.
they thought there was one step ahead, but they weren't. Almost.
They're playing into your hands.
I think there's a comment on my Facebook page every week, more like us bandits.
That's the point.
Exactly. That's the point. So, what made you get into the whole being in a band, playing live music kind of thing?
Well, I started playing when I was really young, probably like 8, but just like dabbling with my guitar and stuff. And then it just, as the years went on in my teens, it just became like a focus where it just like consumed my life, and I was just spending more time playing the guitar than doing anything else. And I guess I started playing in bands around that time when I was in high school. And then I just, when I was about 16, started gigging like in a kind of pub covers band, and that's kind of when it became more of a career focus, I guess. And then started writing my own music. I was in a band called Bigfoot for a few years, who were signed, and we toured to a label in Europe, and we toured a lot, and then that fell apart, and I just found myself doing this solo thing, which was a new thing for me, but then kind of came at the right time. I started it just before COVID, and then I had like 2 years on my own, so it was kind of the perfect time to do a solo thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's what here we are.
The most convenient thing to do.
Yeah, stuck at home on your own, you might as well write some music.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
I mean, when you are spending like basically 2 years with nobody but yourself, like it does give you that time to be productive. So.
Yeah, definitely. It was a weird one because I think at the start of it, I was so ready to get. I was thought, oh, you got all this time on my own. I'll write some music, and then after about 2 months of it, I was like, I just hit a brick wall because I was like, oh my god, we're still not out of this.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? So yeah, but then after another 6 months, I was like, well, I better do something.
Better to do something than just do what me and probably Riley did and sat indoors doing nothing.
Yeah, I think it was writing music and going through the loft and going through all the old PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, lockdown wasn't the most productive time for all of us. I can't think of anything I learned in that 2 year stretch personally. I tried to learn, you know, when they throw cards and it gets stuck in an apple. I wanted to learn how to do that. Then I ran out of cards and I couldn't get it in the apple. So that was kind of the height of my lockdown. It was a weird time with the mighty power that is hindsight. It wasn't awful, but that's with like I think it was so bad at that time because nobody knew when it would stop.
Yeah,
like, it was a matter of like, yeah, God, like how long am I going to be doing this for? But when you can actually look back and go, oh shit, I was just kind of like, it was 6 months the first lockdown. It actually was kind of sound, like for the large majority.
Yeah, it wasn't too. You kind of just got used to it, and I feel like some of that's kind of rubbed off now. Like I don't go out as much as I used to because I think I've realised I don't like people that much after the lockdown.
Yeah. It was nice just to have like your own company for a while.
That's
probably in the wrong.
I get what you mean.
History.
It also did fuck a lot of things because once lockdown hit, this is like a real just like specified experience. But like once lockdown hit and I'd lost like 2 years of learning, I was like, oh, that's okay because my GCSEs I'm going to get like supported learning and that and like the other crutches. But they just took those away for my year, so I'm sitting my GCSEs like a fucking idiot who knows basically nothing. With no extra help because we weren't deemed as crucial enough. But you know, at least you could play Pong for a long periods of time over lockdown. But music. I am curious. This is kind of a throwaway that I ask every now and then. But are there any other like band names like other than before the sass bandits that just didn't quite make the cut for any reason?
Yeah, I literally have a list in my phone. I can probably get it up actually. I have a list and I just add to it. There used to be a list on my old phone, but I lost it, and there's probably like hundreds of band names, so I had to start again. But
so collectively, you've probably got like a 200 or so name list.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in here, so I won't. I like the Pasty Boys, and what else? There's a lot of shit in here. I'll be honest. I think some of the stuff is when I've been on a night out and just been drunk and thought, oh, that's funny. And it's not that funny.
I don't know why the Pasty Boys didn't
put it on the list.
You know, if you ever go off in a side project, you've got the name there.
Yeah, the Milky Boys and the Pasty Boys.
All you need is just
yeah,
they're two good names.
So you're telling me that we've been robbed of Sam Millar and the Milky Boys?
Yeah, I think I prefer that actually. Bad move.
It'll change in the next 2 months to just Sam Millar and the Milky Boys.
I don't know why I didn't go for that. I quite like it.
It's never too late to make a rectification.
Mid-career name change.
Yeah, exactly. It happens all the time in the industry, probably.
Yeah, I do like the idea of people walking around in sass bandits t-shirts, completely oblivious.
Yeah. When really I want to be walking around in Milky Boy t-shirts. But they'll never know.
We will never know. On that note, so what bands or artists would you say that you take your inspirations from in this day, in this current day?
Probably at the moment, very much. It's a mixture of kind of stuff like Queen and Def Leppard, but also then like a lot of pop and like guess I love the stuff I was brought up on was like Fleetwood Mac and kind of 70s rock, and that's kind of what I love. But then like later on I got into like stuff like Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses, and that was kind of what kind of really inspired me when I was a teenager, I guess. But now I kind of have drifted into like loving a lot of 80s pop now, like Huey Lewis and Hall and Oates, and I know it's not 80s, but I'm obsessed with ABBA. So it's kind of, my music is kind of a fusion of these rock things with like ABBA melodies, I like to think.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool mixture.
Yeah. Kind of linking on, are there any like artists or bands that you really like that don't necessarily like influence your music?
Oh yeah, I'm a big metal fan and a big yeah, also, and I love stuff in the 60s, the Beatles, the Doors and stuff, and obviously I love like Metallica, Pantera, Lamb of God and stuff like that, but there's none of that in my music.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You're saving that for the Milky Boys.
Yeah, the Milky Boys is definitely going to take an angrier direction.
They've got some pented up rage. Just wait for the Milky Boys world tour, man. It'll be like Woodstock.
I'm not sure my vocals suit that one, but we'll see.
Oh my god.
Imagine. So we're somewhat reaching the, would you say, a bit more fun rather than like just serious questions? We're getting to the point where we can just start asking the more fun questions.
Yeah, that's cool. Sorry, you were breaking up a second.
So
yeah, it's expected from his
I
internet.
always break up. It's me. I'm going to formally apologise for it already. But are there any venues in the future that you decide that you would like to play? Are there any like in your like mind that you would just is a definite that you want to play?
Yeah, I mean, I would love. There's a lot like. Oh, there's hundreds because I mean I'm kind of, well, I'm from Wigan, but like I lived in Manchester for a while, and that's kind of my nearest city. So there's a lot in Manchester, like the Apollo and the Ritz. I love them venues. So obviously that'd be great to play a venue of that size in like not my hometown, but on my home turf.
Yeah,
at some point that'd be great. The Apollo or something like that. Maybe one day.
One day in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, I can see it on the bit on the big billboard. Sam Millar and the Milky Boys playing at the Ritz.
That might be what gets me to the Ritz.
Oh, I reckon so. I
Sudden
reckon
change
that's the
into
hidden
metal.
ingredient. But I reckon they change names for every genre. Yeah, like every time you're mixing it up, they become different boys. It's what could go wrong? Um,
Everything.
but speaking of you and the Pasty Boys, do you ever listen to your own music just like for leisure?
Um, Not really, because especially with this, I'm kind of so hands-on with everything myself. I produce everything myself. So like there's a period of like a year where I hear them songs every day and mixing them and recording them and to the final stages. And then when it's done and I'm like, right, it's time to, that's done and I'm happy with that, it's time to draw a line under it then. And I kind of don't listen to it until like a tour's coming up or something and I need to just brush up
Memorize Phil.
yeah, I always forget because you know, sometimes you don't play a song like for a year and then you think, oh, we'll drag that one out. Obviously this project hasn't been going that long, but with previous projects, you might not play a song for a couple of tours and then you think, oh, we'll throw that back in and you have no idea what you played on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. I kind of get so exhausted with listening to them on repeat for so long. I just kind of don't want to hear that. And if I go somewhere and someone puts it on, I'm like, oh god, turn this shit.
You know, we never have the answer just straight up no. Often.
Not
It's just
anymore. Yeah.
it's quite a rarity now. Like I think most of the bands that we normally have on, like, oh yeah, sometimes. I think we just don't know.
No, I just don't want to hear it.
I guess I no, but I do see a point. Like if you're just going over it time and time again for like such a long period of time, like even if it is like your
It
own
gets to a
shit,
point where you
eventually
just
it will
don't want to
start
hear
to
it
grate
anymore.
on you. Yeah.
Because obviously you like it. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't put it out. You know, if you didn't think it was good, you wouldn't put it out. Why would you?
Yeah,
But
but it's like the same way you can like Cathedral's cheese, but you wouldn't eat a cheese toasty every single meal.
yeah,
Like, yeah, of like eventually you can still like the food, but you'll get sick of it from time to time.
yeah, that's it. And yeah, and I think maybe don't know, maybe it can maybe kill it a little bit if you just hear it too much and you practice. Sometimes I think if you practice too much, it can kill it. You know, if
Yeah,
you get so much in a thing where it's almost like a recital, then it just becomes a little bit soulless. You know, sometimes it's good to just be on edge a little bit.
yeah.
That's me making it.
I mean, we don't practice this at all. We don't practice this at all. We just go off of whatever we go off of.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for how long? We don't actually practice any episodes. We just wing it.
Yeah, I think if you did it, just be a bit stale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't really practice this type of shit because at that point you just kind of get a sound bite to do it for you. Like if I was saying word for word what I said last episode, I don't need to be here. I could be like asleep. Like get up a stock image to ask, do you like the guitars? And then that's that sound. Like it needs the individuality.
Yeah,
Whereas but with writing a song, like you've got to listen to it to tweak it, to perfect it. Whereas
yeah,
this is kind of a one and done thing. Like, I'm not going to go, oh shit, I should re-record that joke and make it a bit funnier.
yeah.
because then it's just that's not like a normal human conversation. But you need to steer out of music to make sure it is like up to that. And a lot of the time, it is that impossible human standard of trying to like reach that level of this is perfect.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm definitely the worst for that, especially because, like I said, I play most of the instruments on the records. I record it, mix it, I write everything.
yeah,
So like I'm so involved in it that and because I'm doing it all myself, I can go over it a million times. I'm not paying hundreds of pounds a day to be in a studio.
yeah,
So I'm not really on a clock. I can spend all the time in the world on it if I want to, and that can be like a burden in some ways because sometimes it's good to have someone to just say, stop, it's good enough, just stop.
yeah, I get that.
Like just when you're in a band, like I've always been in bands my whole life. And, they can kind of sometimes be the voice of reason and say, enough's enough.
Yeah,
That song, But when you're on your own, you don't have that. You just have you going, hey, I didn't do that vocal take right. Or
yeah. You're like finding imperfections that aren't even there.
Yeah. Like 4 a.m. and you're driving yourself mad.
Yeah. But like if you overdo that too much, then that might it probably will get to the extent, like you said, if we rehearse the podcast, it gets stale. If you're like tweaking to such an extent, eventually it will become like so streamlined that it would like it would have no personality to it.
For sure, yeah.
I mean,
I've spoke to bands and they say they have like, and it's each to their own. If you do you, if that's what you want to do, but they said they have like cues on the set list to say do this at this point in the gig and say or tell people to do this or tell people to follow us on social media. And to be fair, I'm terrible at that stuff. I always forget, and I end up like slagging off the audience or something and getting myself in trouble. But it's that's part of my charm, I think.
It's the Sam Millar charm for you.
And that's a real enticing factor to bring everyone to the gigs. So if you want to get heckled at a show, then make sure you go to whatever shows you've got upcoming soon, which you can feel free to promote.
Well, there's only one more for the rest of the year. We're playing in Nottingham in next week, actually, which and then we're done for the year. But we're planning like quite a lot of headline shows next year because we've never done a run of headline shows. We've done the odd one like locally for like my album launch and stuff, but we've never done an actual run of shows. So I'm trying to get to some new places because we've done festivals and support slots, but you're kind of limited. You get half an hour or 40 minutes or whatever, and you're like when you've got like 2 hours worth of material, it's like you have to kind of all fight with each other what songs you're actually going to play that night,
Yeah.
So
do you think it's just going to be like a full UK tour, or do you reckon it would just be like just a couple of places?
We'd like it to be, but it just depends. We've got some of it booked so far, so we're just going to get to where we can and wherever will have us, really.
That's fair enough. I'm pretty sure, to be fair, quite a few places in Camden are quite like lenient with that. Like, if you just ask, "Oh, can we play?" They'll just be like, "Yeah, go on then."
Yeah, it'd be great to go to Camden. I used to play the Underworld quite a lot with my old band. We used to love it.
Underworld is definitely like a big one on people's list.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It's a great night in there.
Definitely is. So, have you? I'm asking this as a bit of a like brain fucking dead question, but have you been on many tours with any other bands?
yeah, in the past, when I was with Bigfoot, we used to tour with we did a few tours with we went out with, I think our first UK tour was with, who was it with? Maybe with Black Spiders or something. I don't know if you know them.
The name rings a bell.
Yeah, and then we went out with a guy called Jeff Scott Soto from America, and then we.
I was just going to ask what your favorite, like, kind of somewhat tours have been, like who, like, people that you've either supported or people that you've had support you.
I mean, we I think I always used to love the headline tours. With my old band, they were great. Just because you were playing to your fans, they knew all your stuff.
Yeah,
they're all there for you, and you can kind of get away with a lot more on them tours. You don't really have to prove anything. You kind of just, they're paying to see you. But one of the best tours I think I ever did was in Spain. It was only like a 3-day tour. We did like Madrid, Bilbao, and Barcelona, and we were supporting a band called Eclipse from Sweden.
Oh, cool.
And they do really well over in Spain, and we were playing to like 2,000 people every night, and it was just such a good tour. And I think we drank way too much as well, which probably enhanced it all. And it was just it was just a great tour, and getting to see up these great cities that we'd never not spent much time in, and kind of getting to play them in these massive venues. It's just great. So that's probably one of my fondest tour memories.
Yeah,
that was in
cool.
2015, I think.
Wow. I mean, not everyone gets the chance just to go out to Spain and just go on like a little tour.
Yeah,
and play to like 2,000 people, which is quite cool.
It was great. It was like a good opportunity for us at the time, and it was we just had to take it. It was a way we had to. It came up last minute. We just kind of, I think we had a month's notice, and we just had to book some flights, rent some equipment over there, jump on a bus. It was great there.
Yeah. Well,
pretty interesting.
Yeah, speaking of not getting the chance, because we've got 5 minutes left until the end of this part, so I'm just going to try to shoehorn one more question in there. Are there any bands that you wish you could have seen that now you, like, for one reason or another, won't ever get the chance to see?
Yeah, definitely. Like Fleetwood Mac for one. Not stupidly, I never went and saw them, and I could have, because they were still together in, not that long ago. And obviously Chrissy McVie's dead, and Lindsey Buckingham ain't having anything to do with them anymore.
Yeah.
Prince, I would have loved to see Prince. That's obviously not happening. And Jimi Hendrix. But probably the biggest one is Eddie Van Halen. If I could have seen Van Halen.
Definitely.
But they never came to the UK. I think they came to the UK once in my lifetime, and I was about 2. And that was in like 95 or something. So but Eddie Van Halen probably is number one that I would have loved to see but couldn't.
I think honestly, with anyone that is like associated with like rock, like 80s rock, everyone would have wanted to see Eddie Van Halen in this day and age.
Yeah, because he was still touring right up until not long before he died. He was just always in America. He never came over. So
yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of part 1, because we're running out of time. So we will very briefly see you over in part 2. And welcome back to part 2. It's so fun. We'll nosedive right into the first question. Are there any like songs of your own that you would place in a specific moment in a movie?
Yeah, I think my newest album, I kind of actually wrote with like an 80s kind of film in mind. Not a specific one, but I was kind of going for the soundtrack to like Top Gun or Miami Vice or something.
Yeah, I love Top Gun.
Yeah, it was I kind of said I wanted to do something that was very kind of that vibe of like anthemic 80s tunes would kind of get in a film.
Yeah, fair enough. Is there any specific moments or generic cliche moments in an 80s film that you'd like single out?
I guess like all the Kenny Loggins stuff in Top Gun.
Just replace Kenny Loggins with one of your own songs.
Well, Kenny Loggins can't have long left. Needs to pass on the torch.
That's true there.
Letting the new generation.
Yeah, good point there, Riley.
I've not even seen the new Top Gun film.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's so good.
It's on my list to watch, and I just keep every time I come to watch it, I'm like, I feel like it's such a big moment. I need to be in the right frame of mind to really just take it all in.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite films. I really loved Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I've not seen the original for about 10 years, probably.
Yeah,
so I probably ought to recap.
It kind of catches you up to speed. There's not too much you really need to know. Just this bloke's a proper good pilot, sound, and then from there you kind of get the gist.
Not the plot, is it?
No, it's not the most complicated.
Yeah.
So keeping along the similarities of movies. So just picture this: like they decide to make like a biopic about yourself. Who would you like to play Sam Millar?
Oh God!
What celebrity do you think would be the perfect suiting?
I don't know if anyone would want to play me. That's the question. I don't know. They'd have to be very handsome, obviously. But I don't know. So they'd have to be from Wigan, because I don't think you could nail this dodgy accent without living and breathing it. You'd have to do some method acting and move to Wigan for a few months.
Remain in Wigan for a sum of half a year.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they'd have to be from Wigan. Probably just find someone off the street, to be honest.
Just any bloke from Wigan.
Yeah.
That's a first. That is a first. No celebrity, just someone from Wigan.
Just a guy. Just any of them.
Well, you know, the thing is with these biopics, they always put someone in who's just like a kind of. It's like, hang on a minute, like Freddie Mercury wasn't that handsome. Elton John, like what? Like why is that really attractive man playing Elton John? He was ugly as fuck. So let's just,
Hey man, he's still kicking it. He could be watching this episode of the Uncensored podcast.
So to speak, you could say he's still standing.
Yeah, barely.
I'm a massive Elton John fan, but come on, he was no looker.
God. Well, I'll move on to what is either the penultimate or whatever is.
You're right. You're correct there, Riley.
The third from last question.
That is the penultimate.
But we've had a nice time. Been here about an hour. And this is where we kind of actually really do some soul searching and find the answers to the important questions. So I won't drag it on for any longer than needed. I just have one question to ask. What is the best sandwich?
The best sandwich. Oh God, I don't know. I'm not much of a sandwich eater. I don't eat meat, so no meat. So probably just like bread with butter. No,
A
I don't
butter
know.
sandwich.
I wouldn't have knocked it, to be fair. I do like bread and butter.
I would put some corn on, some corn ham or something. Fake ham.
Fake
That's
ham.
fair. You know,
that's the most disappointing. People want BLT.
We've had worse. We've had worse.
Yeah, I've got to be honest though. I'm starting to get the whole not eating meat thing, and it's not even a matter that I'm like an animals activist. But I was thinking, I was eating a veggie pizza the other day, and I was like, this might actually be the most enjoyable pizza.
That's great.
I love a vegetable pizza, and I'm tired of acting like I prefer the meat ones. It's just
sometimes it's just not needed.
Exactly.
And my not eating meat for God knows quite a few, maybe 5 years now, and my poos have never been so painless. It's great.
But I reckon I could, if I actually wanted to, I could cut out most meat with no problem. I think the only thing I'd struggle with is like mincemeat, because I eat a lot of like mincemeat based items and cod, because I really like myself.
So I eat mincemeat substitutes, just fake mincemeat.
It's true, all like cauliflower, I could make it work. Mal, maybe I'll go vegetarian for January. Maybe that'll be my thing.
Well, his New Year's resolution, he goes vegetarian for a month.
I reckon I could do it for a month. Just give it a go. But the only issue, I really enjoy fish and chip sandwiches, so it'll be quite difficult to give that up.
You could just go. To be fair, you could just go pescatarian and just like limit yourself to fish.
Yeah, one step at a time, sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. Work the way through the ladder. But yeah, you passed the test with flying colours. That's an A-star distinction right there.
Riley knows that because he's in school.
Yeah, that is a B-Tech for you. A B-Tech in sandwich.
I wish I was still doing a B-Tech.
Oh, I'm not even there yet.
Anyway, we move to the ultimate question, Riley.
Yeah, we do. It was we've made it to the big finale. So
sparklers in everything.
So I'm going to ask you to make a band, okay? Base rules. You can have as many or as few people in the band as you'd like, as long as you have the core fundamentals of a singer, a bassist, a guitarist, and a drummer. You can be in the band, but you don't have to be. You can have anyone on any instrument, but they will not miraculously learn to play that instrument. They can be dead or alive. They will be alive when they perform, unless you specifically request them not to be. And I think that's everything.
Oh, that's a toughie. Who would I have? I would probably have sad. Probably Steven Tyler on vocals. No, or maybe Steve Perry.
You'd have both.
Yeah, let's have Steve Tyler and Steve Perry from Journey. They can have a nice duet together. And who would I have on the guitar? Oh God. To add Steve Lukather on the guitar from Toto. I would have on the drums. Ooh, who's my favourite drummer? I don't really know.
Is it someone called Steve by any chance?
There's a lot of Steve. God, didn't realise all these people are Steves. I can't
You'd
think
have
of
the Ballad of Steve.
The Steves. Yeah. But yeah, so Steve, and yeah, I have Jeff Beccaro on the drums from Toto, but he has to change his name to Steve.
The drummer's always got to be different.
And then the bass player. Who's my favourite bass player? I don't know. I don't care about him. Anyone. As long as they're called Steve, he can play bass.
Just a bloke called Steve.
Yeah.
Probably the same bloke called Steve that's gonna play you in the biopic. Just and are you gonna throw in any wild cards?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'd have to have a keys player, a good measure.
Steve Keys.
I don't know who that would be. I've my mind's gone blank now. I'm thinking too much. It's rare. But yeah, keys player. Who else we having? Just throw everyone in there. We might as well just shove Eddie Van Halen in there for good measure.
Yeah, go on,
why
then.
Not?
And is that everyone?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I always think with these questions, I think, you know what? I reckon if you shoved all them people in a band together, they'd fucking hate each other.
That's fair. So, if that's your final selection, that's you locked in now. So
we've got Steve Millar from the Steve Millar Band.
Yeah, it's my dad.
So in 2049, when we eventually find something to do with all these bands, we'll let you know if the Steves come out on top.
I mean, all them musicians are going to be dead by then, but you know.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think that's our problem. I think it's just actually trying to find something to do is the issue. This has literally been building for over a year, and now we're coming to the realization we've got absolutely nothing to actually use it for. It's not like I can just ring up like Freddie Mercury and be like, "Yo, boss, so could you sing a song with Slash for me? Cheers, mate." It's not as simple as it may sound, but that does bring us to the end of our questions. So unless there's anything that you'd like to promote or say or ask us.
No, I'm good. My music's all online, so if you want to check it out, it's just under Sam Millar. And yeah, that's all, really.
Brilliant. Well, I'm actually feeling generous today. So, Tom, I'd like to let you do the outro.
Awesome. Well, I've been Tom. This has been Riley. And this has also been Sam. Go and give Sam a nice little follow on socials and Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever you're on. Go give him a listen. Also, at that point, just go give us a listen as well. Why not? You know where we are with everything. Go give us a follow if you want as well. You know where we are on those as well. And with that being said, is there anything that I've missed, Riley?
No.
In that case, we'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye.